TCG with Levin, with Zan. You know, this is big. They know the mind and the mindset of Helseth, and maybe even Frey to a degree as well. But this is just exciting. I'm thumping my feet. I'm like grabbing the desk. I'm just like excited to see what's going to come out from this veteran 10 players that we've got between rank 55 Dragons and the Civilized Gentlemen.
I'm so excited. I mean, it's exactly like you say. All of these players, they know each other. They know the mindsets. They know the play styles of their opponents here.
Smashing.
And it feels almost like a grudge match to some extent. Both of these teams are going to be so ready to get this underway and start to punish their opponents. They better be, because they've had ages.
Hurry up. I want to cast this game so hard. It's just, there's a lot of potential for this. Just little things I'm additionally excited about. Things like seeing the Oracle playing on like a Bunker Mesmer. The Oracle, if you're, again, coming back, you haven't really watched the scene recently. The Oracle is Misha, which is the name they used to be, known by. This is now the Oracle. That's it. I don't need to touch that anymore. But just in case you weren't sure who this was exactly, just a little tiny bit of history. So that's going to be interesting to see. And it's so interesting to see, we're in the Pro League now. It's been a couple of years since we've seen the start of, competitive PvP in Guild Wars 2. And the Mesmer completely switching its role up, really, in terms of, now it's the supportive character, which it can't really be in a 1v1 fight. And still, they can be played as a very DPS-orientated character as well. So they've got those two extremes, right, which were working out in different situations. Maybe not for Orange Logo today, unfortunately. But yeah, very interesting to see where we're going to go with this map. Especially on Temple,
Yeah, I mean,
Blimey.
If there's a map where clutch plays can be made, Temple is certainly one of them. I mean, Tranquility at the bottom where you get the instant 3-cap as well as Stillness to get those double points rolling in. If a 2-cap and Stillness can be made, that's even better than the 3-cap from Tranquility. You get the 4-cap on the go. And I mean, I've yet to see it, but I would love to see the double buff pickup, where you get the double points and the 3-cap immediately, 6 points every 2 seconds. Now that is how you get a lead on this map. But let's have a see how these guys are going to go about it, because the game has begun and they're scattering across the map. Rank 55 Dragons up against the Civilized Gentlemen. Our featured matchup begins as everybody charges to the mid.
Yeah, we've got a lot of action coming over towards mid already, as TechSpeed seems to be one of the main targets here. He's playing Elementalist as well, just as a little note. I didn't actually go through his build, as I realised that almost the assumption he'd just be playing Engineer, but he drops very low all of a sudden as well, tries to wash the pain away, but gets interrupted, and he's going to be almost useless soon, as he might potentially go down, and he goes into Earth Overload. Are we going to see the potential res coming out from the Oracle? No, because we saw a nice Gravity Well coming out there, and he drops into downstate, and that's a good job from these team members. Helseth using that Gravity Well so effectively there, and he feels like he is on top of that build at the moment.
Yeah, fantastic play by TCG to start this off with a kill in their favor. However, rank 55 Dragons got the first cap of the game, so they do still have the lead in points. But take a look at these health bars for rank 55. They're starting to feel the pressure coming out here. Look at the condies as well, spreading out across those health bars. And now we're starting to see this fight going slightly in favor of TCG over towards that top side of the map, but nobody quite able to go down there. But as I say that, TechSpeed, for the second time this game, might just be going down. There's the execute. TechSpeed really being punished. Lord Helseth right now is saying, you used to be on my team, and I'm going to punish you for leaving.
I mean, those guys are so close as well. They're definitely very, very good friends, and it's just so interesting to see those kind of matchups and that kind of thing come out. But at the moment, TCG 1-cap in their favor. They're going to grab the Temple as well. And over on the also, we really need to see something coming out from rank 55, but they're not able to get much out of this matchup at the moment. Levin is trying to get some extra damage coming out onto Drazes here, and they've got the condition potentially in their favor, but Levin getting back up to almost full HP here. They're looking to try and take this, and we maybe will see a +1 here potentially coming out from someone on this map. But TCG grabbing the 2-cap now, and it's feeling like a strong one as they can sustain the map. Akazis drops very low here.
Yeah, man count as well has been dropped down to the ground in the middle of the map. He looks like he might just get rezzed up here, but actually they don't quite manage to finish it off. The Condis are stacking up, and he could just be in a whole lot of trouble. Texi is doing his best, as well as Zan to try and pick up their teammate, but they're not quite going to be able to, and he does go down in the end. Texby as well, while trying to get that res, is going to drop to the Condis. Zan as well. This is going disastrously in this fight for rank 55. Zan trying to escape the fight, and it looks like he's going to be able to do so. Just hopping, skipping, and jumping away from that one. But Texby is going to drop down to the floor, and that is going to be yet another advantage picked up in favor of the Civilized Gentlemen. And with the 2-cap holding strong, they're starting to soar ahead in points.
It wasn't too bad in the end there, because they did get the kill themselves over on the altar, so at least there is that. They need to try and keep Helseth in a position where he's in a 1v1 if they can, or at least try and take him out. And actually, Helseth, they need to use this situation, because I don't feel like Helseth should be in a 1v1 position, and they should just leave him in that. If they can sustain that side point, that would be great. And they've forced him there as well. And rank 55 have always been very good at trying to control the map in their favor. And tactically, these are probably two of the most tactically minded teams in the game, in the Pro League at present, really, to be honest, out of these 4 top teams that we've been talking about.
Yeah. And now stillness has appeared, so would expect that to start to be the focus of attention. We see Phrase just diving down to the bottom of the map. Not 100% sure that was quite intentional there. Zan trying to grab control of this ball. Helseth is going to be there to try and ruin Zan's day, but he might just be able to capture that one. No, it is going to get interrupted in the end there. Doesn't quite manage to grab that.
This is unfortunate, because they've almost got Helseth in a great position there. And this is actually really nice. If they can get this cap, they're going to be able to come back quite strongly. They've got the 2 nodes. They've got easy access to these side points at the moment here between Temple and towards the altar as well. But they're going to probably lose a cap over on that Temple. So what are they going to do? Are they going to go for the kills here around stillness and grab themselves the equalization that way? The mid is also free. So rotation really now from rank 55 is so important to make sure they're able to pick this up. Are we going to see stillness grabbed? We are, but it's going to be for TCG from Karzez there. Now he can push over towards the Temple to potentially pick up a kill over on this side of the map. Frey's actually been pushed away here as well by 2 members of rank 55 Dragons. Karzez comes in for the support as well as Helseth there, and it feels like they're almost going to take over this side of the map.
Yeah, it really does. Zan going to be able to keep himself alive. He does have that sustain being on that engineer class, but it is going to be Phrase dropped down. It's going to be picked up by the teammates, though. Immediately, Lord Helseth there to help out, but drops straight down to the floor once again. And the execute looks like it is going to come out, and that's going to be the man advantage in favor of rank 55 now. Zan taking a whole lot of damage over at the other side of the map, but in that 1v1 should just about be able to survive that one. And actually doing a good job up against Drazza. He's just going to try and sneak away, and just look at both of their health bars immediately skyrocket up. But on the other side, once again, Lord Helseth has now been dropped down, and he is going to be executed. Krazes might just be going down as well as the execute starts to get channeled by Texby. Gets knocked away, but it is going to be him going down, and it is going to be the cap starting to come through for rank 55 Dragons here.
Oh, it's a shame they couldn't have just held it for a little bit longer, like another 20 seconds or so. They would have been very close to Tranquility and maybe man down on the map. And this, now they need to make sure they run over towards the altar and maybe leave Zan to die while they're trying to... They don't want to lose members here. They don't want to lose the Riven.
Committed so hard to this.
This feels like they shouldn't have committed to this fight actually over there in the moment, because they've lost Zan. They lost the advantage they managed to get, and it feels like it could have been a mistake and maybe an over-rotation, but they've been driven into desperation.
If they retreat now and just hold on to these 2 caps that they do have,
but look, we've got 8 seconds left until Stillness and Tranquility come up, Joe.
They don't have a whole lot of time to play with. The respawns are going to be coming in. Taxby back onto the map. He's going to be down in the bottom of the map fighting for Tranquility there, so they're going to at least be able to keep that one away from their opponents. We'll see. Stillness is also going to be contested, and that is going to be the decap down in mid. So we are like even Stevens map-wise. Point advantage still in favor of TCG, but only a 100-point advantage. And we're over half, or almost at halfway point in this game, and only one team is just about over halfway in points.
Yeah, indeed. But Frey's going to get the decap because they committed 2 people over to that midpoint, and they didn't get the kill quickly on Lord Asura. They're going to lose
Oracle
the temple.
saves it.
Oh no, it gets back on there. Did we see it? Oh,
he
nice
blinked
movement
forward
from
to
him.
manage to protect that one.
Good job. Yeah, I didn't see it. He must have moved so quickly on the map. It's like focused on the rest of the map there. So that's really good defense coming out from him. But he's going. potential to get feared off point. He's got 1 decap, so Oracle has to play almost flawlessly to make sure it doesn't get feared off point, and Frey's going to be waiting for that. So the Oracle's got to dodge those attempts, and he's getting the caps back now. So Frey coming off node to make sure he's not in those wells as well is really, really great play from him.
Yeah, we have a 2v2 down near the Tranquility buff right now. Texby nearly went down, but it's going to be able to be saved by Xander, who came to help him out, and it looks like that is going to go back to a 1 versus 1. Texby versus Krazes once again. Krazes trying to channel that capture, but Texby's not going to let
Yeah,
that
he
happen.
doesn't need to go and do anything else. He just needs to make sure he interrupts him somehow, and then Krazes comes back with the potential condition damage, and that's going to be really, really painful. Texby needs to back off again from this to make sure he's not going to be taken out. He's a good player. He should be able to. He'll be able to be okay down there. But the thing is now, rank 55 Dragons need to try and get something on the map because they're still 100 points down. So this is why Levin is now moving over towards Alta to get the decap, using those utilities to make sure he can get himself around the map quite quickly. Decap's going to be important, and now members of rank 55 feel like they might be too stretched trying to get these caps and decaps around the map. Oracle's still doing well, okay, in this 1v1 between himself and Frey, actually, where the conditions can prove really difficult, but bunker build. This isn't your standard Shatter Mesmer here.
Yeah, doing a really, really good job to just survive here. And Frey's actually starting to get a little bit low. Is going to have that life force to fall back on, though, and actually decides to retreat in the end. Oracle might just be able to finish off this cap. This might be the 1 cap advantage in favor of rank 55 Dragons. Maybe this is their way to catch up now if they can just sustain this 1 point advantage. But Mancow and Levin across the map are incredibly low. Levin about to drop down. It's going to be able to get that block with Crystal Hibernation, and is going to be able to survive this one. Mancow, though, might not be so lucky. Nobody is going to be there to save him just yet. Oracle arrives on the scene, though. He's looking to get the res, and he is going to be able to pick him up.
And TCG, but TCG did the damage they did and needed to do. They got the stillness buff as well. But he's going to respawn now. But now we are actually going to see Frey does a great job at taking down almost the push there of Frey. Frey should be taken out here as well. We're going to see Mancow going for the potential decap 1v1 over towards that altar. Rank 55 need a decap, and they need it now because stillness comes up again, but it's still got the cap from the last buff that came up at 11 minutes and 30 seconds. They need to get the kills, but TCG are controlling the map very well. They're getting the reses they need. They're supporting fantastically. They're contesting mid-cap. We've got 1 cap apiece, 130-point lead, but we're closer to 400, 500 points now for TCG. They need to come back into this game with a decap over on this altar point for rank 55 Dragons. Yeah,
rank 55, it's kind of a now or never situation for them. They've got to start to get these points on the board, and killing Fraze in mid is a fantastic way to do that. Helseth is going to be there to interrupt the capture onto that stillness buff, though, so he's going to be able to at least deny those extra points coming on through.
He can 1v2 as well, pretty easily, like to a degree around that point. It's fantastic to line the sight and to kite around, and now rank 55, is Drazzy going to go over to mid to risk it? I don't think they want to risk it too much. No, he is.
He's going for it.
He's going to go for it. And are we going to see extra... Wow, everyone's going to Tranquility as well, but, apparently. Oh, no, sorry. That's actually had a few people going to Stillness. But rank 55 feel like they need to go full ham over towards Tranquility here. And actually, Kazes being that member, they could take him out. But look how well he's doing. He's still doing okay here. Covering himself with conditions. And he gets support there by Lord Asura. He heals him up to significantly here as well. And offers him some nice boonage as well. So midpoint, again, another point for contention.
Levin not feeling fantastic elsewhere on the map, though. He's going to go down to about 1 million condies coming out from Fraze.
About 1 million.
Approximately 1 million. And that is going to be Fraze taking that kill and now moving on to help out Lord Helseth in the midpoint of this map. And that is going to be stillness advantage in favor of Civilized Gentlemen. If they can capture this point, they might just be able to push that advantage right over the edge and start to head towards victory. They have the 1 cap, but it turns it essentially into a 2 cap for them.
They're losing the tempo now. The game's running away from rank 55, unfortunately. If they can, the only way they can come back into this game really now is to rush Tranquility to get, you know, the next stillness that would come up at 230. But I don't think that's going to happen at present. Then it could be worth the risk, but they're not in a position to do it at all. And I think they know what's going to happen here,
and
unfortunately for them.
I think as well with Zan going down there, that is pretty much going to be the end of the game. I feel Mancow as well down in the bottom of the map is going to be taken out, and with just 20 points remaining and the stillness buff in their favor, it looks like the Civilized Gentlemen are just a couple of points away from taking this first game in this series. But I mean, less than a 200-point lead at the end of this game. Rank 55 Dragons have done a phenomenal job during this game as well to stay in this series, but it is going to be TCG taking the victory in game 1.
Yeah, good game from TCG there. Unfortunately, you know, rank 55 in the end, not able to get round the map to... they lost quite a few of those engagements as well, and those skirmishes. 1v1, sometimes they were able to take it. Oracle had a fantastic one versus Frey over towards the temple, but unfortunately wasn't available for those team fight situations where he might have been, you know, infinitely more useful. But he needed to keep that cap in their favor. And I feel like towards the kind of towards the end of the game as well, TCG felt like they were really starting to control that game just when rank 55 started to come back.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking of 1v1s, 1v2s, Helseth over at the stillness buff during sort of the middle of the game was just running rings around people, making sure that Decat was there and also just kiting away beautifully. But that is going to be game 1 over to TCG. So phenomenal performance from them on that map with pretty much a 200-point advantage to finish out. And I mean, still one of the closer games we've seen. The featured matchup really living up to expectations so far. Now we're going to be moving on to the second map of this series. Now, if the series between More Guns and Purple Noise has told us anything, it's these maps are dramatically different.
Yeah,
and we definitely could see an entirely different story coming out in the second map of the series.
Yeah, I mean, rank 55 have always been notoriously quite strong on this map, actually, as well as TCG to a degree. So we could see that. We could see the change, and I'm wondering. I'm not actually going to see that. I went straight to the builds there. I was thinking, are we going to see any Portal play coming out from Misha, from the Oracle there? But, you know, it's not going to be the case, actually. And I'm just wondering whether or not that would be something they might consider to change up in the end, you know. Maybe Helseth has got that more experience on this build now as the Bunker. Obviously, Oracle's been playing this and they've been screwing people as well, you know. And so they do have that practice on this build. But I really like Misha the Oracle in another offensive, very, you know, momentum pushing build where he's portaling and he's moving fast around the map in coordination with someone else. But what can you do that when you've got two Revenants as well? You know, you haven't got that much support coming out. You've got an Elementalist in the form of Texby. But in the moment in team fighting situations as well, he's being taken out very quickly. Like the focus targeting from TCG is very good.
I mean, right at the start of the game, Texby went down, respawned, and immediately went down again.
Yeah.
It felt a little bit personal, honestly, from an outside point of view. But I mean, I don't want to sort of accuse anyone of anything. But anyway, let's get into our second map of this series. Let's head on to the Forest of Niflhel. We have a quick intro for you guys.
Welcome to the Forest of Niflhel. In this conquest map, players will vie for control of 3 score-generating capture points. Additionally, on each side of the map, there are 2 bosses that grant 25 points and a bonus to all stats to the team that lands the killing strike. The first team to 500 points wins.
And here we are on the Forest of Niflhel. Rank 55 Dragons up against the Civilized Gentlemen. Phenomenal first game did in the end go in favor of the Civilized Gentlemen. And we'll see if rank 55 have what it takes to pull themselves back and make this series 1-1 and then head towards the third map. Well, there's only one way to find out. We're going to get this game underway. Let's take a quick look at any builds that might have changed before we start.
Yeah, having a look at the moment, don't think anything massive has changed. Living playing over on Condi still. Mancow still on Condi as well. Texby, just double check, he's playing Dagger here actually. Interesting not seeing him go for the focus, which might be a little bit better for his Condi removal, because I feel like we're having some problems with Frey. And potentially, you know, maybe Karzez here as well. So maybe focus might be a little bit of a better option for him here and just trying to get an extra removal of those conditions. Maybe he feels like he's got enough in terms of cleansing water to make sure that's going to be the case. Going for Arcane, not going for Earth as well. So he's going to be going for, of course, Evasive Arcana there. So a little bit of a difference in this build, and maybe Earth, especially going for something like Diamond Skin, would actually be a little bit more beneficial for him in terms of the extra amount of condies that are coming out onto him. But, you know, they've chosen to go with this. There's a reason for that. Maybe that will be more clear on this map. We are going to see the rest of the guys using pretty much the similar builds. Frey's going to be, I mean, TCG don't need to change much up at all. Maybe it's in terms of the actual map rotation here, coming from Temple to Forest, but not much is going to change. Lord Asura, of course, he's going to be going for Diamond Skin, which is a suggestion. You know, they've got 2 condition-orientated guys over there, as well as some other splash condies, I suppose, coming out from the other classes. And Lord Asura is tanking like a boss. He's doing a fantastic job. And then Draze as well, doing well in these 1v1s, very close between him and Zan. You know, it's very much almost like one mistake and one of those guys is going to lose that, and that's going to be the main thing. So, yeah, second map of this series.
They are indeed, and the game has begun for, as you say, the second map in this series, and immediately we just see them passing each other in mid, not even opting to fight those stealth gyros. Going to be able to, or sneak gyros, sorry, going to be able to get them past. And actually, I believe we're seeing an immediate start on the boss coming out from Mankau and Levin. So, interesting strategy to start this one off. That is going to be a 25-point advantage to rank 55, but does it mean that they lose some points?
At the moment, it hasn't been too bad. They've been able to rotate back towards the close point of the red team here, so it's not too bad. Oracle is going to be very, very, very cautious here. Look, Kaz's and Freya here are the damage guys. They're going to be able to take out the Oracle quite quickly, you know. But we've got the Engie coming in, and I'm not sure this is a great matchup because we've got 2 Condi classes versus 2 guys that are very susceptible to conditions. Luckily enough, the Mesmer is going to be able to clear some of that in terms of, you know, the amount of boons that are coming out, they're going to be able to regenerate. And actually, I don't think blue team members are going to be able to take this in the end. They've not got enough damage focus there. But the Oracle does drop very low, actually dropping back into him as it goes into that 1v1. So maybe they're going to be able to bring this back out. But it feels like his HP is going to rise slowly but surely. So this is actually quite a nice potential start. But if you look at the HP bars, I don't feel like it's going to be sustainable for very long.
No, I mean, like,
Frey drops quite low, though.
Advantage is still in favor of blue team, but actually Oracle just narrowly escaping this. But, I mean, the amount of boons, the amount of regen going on, they are doing an okay job. And actually, it's going to be Frey's going down. Kazas might just be following him as well. It's going to be focused on down here at the keep. And actually, this is a phenomenal start coming out from rank 55 Dragons. Getting the boss to take the point advantage start. They get the henge for the 1-cap advantage. And now they're winning the fight over on the keep. However, this has meant that they're starting to lose this fight over at mine. That is going to be the first cap of the game for TCG. But a fantastic point lead already built up for rank 55 now. As we start to see everybody heading just towards the middle of the map, we might actually just see a straight-up skirmish, not even near a point here.
Now, this is good because rank 55 is split in a way where Texby wasn't involved in too much Condi damage on him, and he was able to survive considerably. Now you can see, as soon as he's walked into Frey, he's almost dead. He does not want to be in those situations. He needs to bail off of this. He needs to bail off it now, but it's too late. He is down. He is out as soon as he gets into that situation. But gets risen back up here into full health here, and he's going to be okay. He needs to bail off, but look at the Condi pressure. Again, so much damage coming out onto him. He needs some kind of help here. Oracle is trying to do anything in terms of gravity wells or anything to raise him back up, but he's going to be dropped into downstate here. All that support, they're going to get him back up. That's amazing that there wasn't so much Condi pressure down there, actually, to be honest, in the end.
Right now, rank 55 are doing a fantastic job of just simply sustaining across the map. Levin, though, might be trying to prove me wrong here as Kaz is trying to finish him off. He is going to go down, and there's nobody anywhere near. Actually, I say that Mankau arrives on the scene and picks it back up. They are proving me right in the end, and it is going to be another 2v2 right now as they head over towards the keep, towards the rest of their team. Levin just narrowly escaping with his life once again. And it's actually Kazas going down. He's going to get executed. Man advantage for TCG, for rank 55, sorry, as Levin once again goes down and once again will be rest.
Yeah. The Oracle in the right position. I'm loving this support Mesmer at the moment for some, just because of, like, it's just like with the alacrity, with the reduced cooldowns, it's the different spin on that support class, man. And I'm really enjoying the play that comes out. It's not just healing, it's not just, you know, toughness and removing conditions. It's, you know, boon support and, you know, control to a degree that's really good in that power, in that supportive role, and I'm loving it at the moment. But TCG do have the 1 cap now. Now rank 55, need to make sure they get some kind of control back on the map. Try and take a node back off TCG, or some contestation at the very least.
Yeah, they absolutely do. Levin starting to feel the pressure a little bit here, and this is one of the beauties of when you're playing with so many condis on your team. If these fights do go on, if you can stack up those condis, the pressure is going to be there. And Texby, his health is dropping incredibly quickly, but he is going to drop down into downstate and immediately get picked back up once again. And, I mean, the reses this game from rank 55 have been on point, but Levin, let's see if he's going to get a res. They need a miracle to come out. Kazes is going to go down, though. Levin somehow surviving there. He is finally going to drop, though. Oh,
Thunderclap came in. Oh,
he does go down.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was going to be a miracle res coming out there.
He was too low. Like, he'd just been cleaved too low. Zan came in to try and get the save. Unfortunately, not able to in the end. And they're going to lose this side cap in the end. And is it worth Zan staying here to contest a 1v2 situation versus a class which is Condi orientated? And another guy is obviously going to be able to take him out and lock him down. And I feel like, really, Zan should have disengaged from this. But it feels like he had to stay for the contestation. And they need to be very careful, because now midpoint can be collapsed upon by 2 members of the blue team, which is exactly where they're going right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Zan going to be finished off there in the man advantage now for Civilized Gentlemen, and they've just about equalized the score. They have a 1 cap advantage in the henge there. But take a look over at the mines. We see Levin is going to be capping that one, so he's going to be able to equalize. It's going to be all about the keep here, as all of the members starting to head over to that point. Oracle going to be able to keep this decapped. So it is 1 for 1 right now, and look how close the points are. Texby, though, is going to be able to get bursted on down. Fraze and Karzas have found him all on his own here, trying to get up to the rest of the team. Oracle is going to arrive, and the res is going to come out. He's back onto his feet, and it's 5 versus 5 once again. Everybody heading up towards the keep.
It's all about the quickness as well for these Mesmers, to make sure they're able to slow down their opponents or make themselves faster, to make sure they can, getting the quickness is going to speed up their skills and speed up their resin capability, and both Mesmers are doing a great job at the moment. This is why we're seeing so much support and so fast resin, and the coordination is so important for that. Frey goes down here as well. So you're looking at Helsef to pull out quickness again. You can see that boon coming out onto him, which is again the reason why they're able to get their players up. And look at the amount of damage that's coming onto this point. It's a lot of Condi pressure from both teams, and the next kill is going to decide this fight potentially, as Karzis drops into the downstate. We need Cleave coming out from the teams, but Karzis comes back up again. Who's going down next? Look at this point difference, 1 point difference, and they need to try and get some control here. Oracle is dropping so low. Maybe TCG have switched their focus over to the player that's giving them the survival in these fights, as he drops low but gets supported there by Texby and other members. Frey comes in for the extra amount of position.
Karzis goes down.
They're both down. Oh no, Karzis got dropped. The no rally, and we actually, just as they're going for the Oracle, they actually be able to take down Karzis. I was not even paying attention to that there. So I was so focused on the Oracle.
Azura as well now is going to be focused down, and actually this is starting to go in favor of rank 55. Helseth into downstate as well, and the keep looks like it might just be won in favor of rank 55 Dragons. While all of the chaos was going on, they traded which points they had as well. Oracle drops to the floor. The execution's coming out, but it's going to be Fraze that dies as Oracle's picked back up. And the wipe pretty much came out 1 by 1 there. Rank 55 taking a 20-point advantage and taking the 2 cap. Now, Henge is the only point TCG have. Yeah,
they might have been, they're lucky. In the end, they get back over towards the mine point. But are they committing too much? We got 3 members. No, Helsef's coming into this fight again. And rank 55 did win this situation over on the midpoint. If it gets into a larger team fight situation, we're going to see the 1v1 between Zan and also Lord Asura. And this is great, because Frey can come in and put loads of condition damage on. Where are rank 55? They know they've got 1 member over there towards the midpoint. Someone needs to get back to make sure they can actually cover this. Yeah, Texby. I'm not sure this is the best person, but I think he's going to go for the DA. He's going for it. Good man. This is a good rotation for rank 55. If Zan can hold the midpoint, we are going to see at least A 2-cap in favor of the red team for a little bit of time with concession mid, and Zan couldn't survive it in the end, but he disengaged.
Yeah.
That's
so
the difference.
They don't even lose the man advantage. That's the
No.
thing. He can go and help elsewhere on the map. They've got the decap on Henge, so worst case scenario, they just trade caps. That's all they have to do.
Oh.
But immediately we see Elementalist versus Elementalist as it's Azura versus Texby on the Henge, and it is going to be 1 cap apiece. 50-point favor for rank 55 Dragons as the fight continues over at the mine. It's 4 versus 4 and 1 versus
Drazzy
1,
down.
but it's going to be Drazzy going down. But Levin at the other side as well is going to fall. The execute comes into Drazzy though, and Levin is picked back up. So rank 55 winning out on the mine so far.
Yeah, Levin needs to escape here. Don't go away too far away anyway. We're going to see the quickness res coming out. They get the res out and freeze down stated as well. Look at the low HP here as well of Cars as he drops. And this is point advantage to rank 55 as they go for the decap over on mid. And we're looking for an extension of their lead. The potential of, they need to be careful that they don't lose Texby here over on the Henge when they've got the disengage. Oh, Mishu is moving. This is a perfect rotation for rank 55. If they can sustain this fight over on the Henge, they're going to be able to, because Texby is in a 1v1 at the moment as we see Lord Asura moving over towards the midpoint to back up Lord Helseth. He needs support quickly and he needs it now. We've got it from Lord Asura as he comes into the node. Helseth does blink up top and gets out of that damage. Oh, this is good stuff from rank 55.
He denied the cap on the very last tick. He stepped in at the last second, and they've been able to keep this neutralized. But the question is, can they hold on? If they step off of this node for just 1 second, they are going to lose the cap.
Rank 55 may have gone for a little bit of a cheeky one. Although he's not going to be able to get. He gets onto Kazes with the assassin stance, and that's what's so good about the Revenant mobility with that assassin stance. Of course, he gets onto the point, saves it, and gets the boss kill, making him die 2 conditions, which gives them another 25-point lead, as well as the point contention on mid and also towards the Henge, with rank 55 bringing it back for our first proper 1v1 in the EU Pro League scene.
Yeah, so...
look at this over on the mine. 1v1, Kazis takes it down. Mancow. Maybe I have to eat my words about what I said earlier, my friend.
Levin as well is going to be dropped over towards the keep, but immediately the res comes out. And this is such a strong performance so far by rank 55 Dragons. Just under 4 minutes left in this game, and if TCG want to pull this one back, they've got to pull out a miracle right now, and it's going to be Levin just trying to kite away once again. Can't quite land the jumping puzzle, and with the Condi sticking away, it looks like he might just be going down here, just trying to evade it. He's going to do so far. Does finally drop down. Tech speed incredibly low as well, and there's no res available for him. So they do manage to take a man advantage. TCG, can they do anything now that they've got the outnumber?
Yeah, they need to push on to mine, but they're trying to get the kill first. Maybe one of them needs to go to the point to get it decapped, because that would be the last chance. But now it's really floating away. Feels like round 55 are going to be able to win this now, especially in terms of 3 minutes left. 150 points or so is getting very tight, if not almost very unlikely that that's going to happen, especially on low. We've got the decap potentially. Mancow does get dropped here. Levin comes in as well for the potential res, and we aren't going to see that coming out, but Levin is going to be able to survive for a little tiny bit of time. For 25 stacks of vulnerability, and he does lose the cap in the end. He had to move off node. If he drops here, we will see an extra 5 points taken by TCG, and rank 55 are having problems across the map at the moment.
They really are. And
oh.
I mean, they don't have any caps right now. Levin is going to drop into that down state. Not quite going down just yet, but looks like the execute is being channeled now, and he will be taken off the map. Kazes, sorry, is getting pretty low, as is Drazzer, and actually, this fight is not looking fantastic right now for TCG. If they go down, this might just be the cap coming out in favor of rank 55 Dragons. If they can just get one more cap, they pretty much win the game at this stage. They are on over 100, and I think just over 150 points, or just under, ahead of their opponents. And this might just be turning into a 1-1, the first 3-game series we've seen in the Pro League at this rate. The cap hasn't quite come out just yet, though, and TCG stacking up points here.
Yeah, this is it now. Henge taking in control. They just need to stay on the node, turtle on the point, hold the team fight that they've been winning, like, to a degree in different points. They're going for the boss kill now as well to make sure they solidify the extra 25-point lead. No one is in range. They get that. They do lose Texby, though, overall on that Henge node. But with Mankel coming in and Zan, they should be able to tank this out for another 30 points or so. It should be their game. We've only got 1 minute, 20 seconds. And it's not possible for them to come back at present. But now, TCG just trying to make sure they can work out some of these matchups and maybe see if they can win some of these fights before the game ends to see, see how well the next game can go. Frey downstayed over towards the mine as well. And that is going to take us to a third game.
It certainly is. This is definitely the point in the game where TCG will be sort of stepping back and just going back to the drawing board, working out quite what went wrong in this matchup, because it is going to be ranked 55 Dragons winning it. And for the first time in Pro League, we are going to see a third map. We're going to be heading on to Legacy of the Faux Fire. And I mean, we said that this was our featured matchup. And I mean, 1-1 so far. First full best of 3 of the Pro League. I can't wait to get this third map underway. This has been a crazy close series.
Yeah, indeed. And now Faux Fire is like, what a one to end it on. I mean, we've got Lord rushes as well, 150 points if you're able to cap the Lord to kill the opposite team Lord. Sorry, of course, Gates in the way as well as some NPCs, but that's not going to cause them too much
There's
trouble.
Lords on the maps, there's Lords on the teams in Hellseth as well. Lords everywhere, apparently. But
Will the Lords prevail, though?
That's going to be the question, isn't it? Will the Lords prevail in TCG, or will it be rank 55 Dragons knocking them off
They're ready.
their pedestal here?
Wow, they're on the team straight away.
Yeah,
this
everybody
one of the
jumping
fastest time,
straight
maybe.
on. They are not messing about right now, because, I mean, everything is on the line. These guys have both got 1 win on the board across the season so far. In that first week, they managed to win their games. Suddenly, TCG, with a pretty commanding victory on the first map, might just be kind of sweating at the brow just a little bit. They've suddenly evened up, and now they're onto a third map. I don't think, with how the Pro League has gone so far, I don't think either team was really expecting necessarily a 3-game series, more expecting whoever wins the first map to sort of roll that momentum over. But rank 55 Dragons have really proved that wrong.
And they've got momentum in their favor as well now. Now, knowing how Hellseth and Frey have been in this situation before, they know what it's like to be on the losing situation, on the losing team at present. But it's 1-1, no one's losing as it is. But the last team to win the last game, they've got some momentum going into it, which is kind of what you were talking about from the first game in this series, and maybe the expectation that would have rolled to, like you said. Now the momentum is with Red Team, and it feels like from the offset they thought about their matchups with their players. Texby got into less condition-orientated fights and was more in sustain on that mine point where they sustained the cap and they got out of there. Like Zan leaving mid in a 1v2, and then Texby's rotation over towards Henge. I think their rotations were just a lot better in that game compared to TCG's, and that was an important move, as well as Zan surviving. If you can, all right, you get the decap and the cap on the other side of the map. Awesome. If you can get your man to survive that 1v2 where he should die, you're winning.
I mean,
you're doing a great job.
If you've got a 1v2 where your man is surviving, it's essentially the same as having a kill somewhere else on the map. Because you've got the man advantage elsewhere. But I mean, let's go into more details once we get the game underway, because the players are on the server and I'm pretty sure they're ready and raring to go. So let's take a look at the map. It is going to be Legacy of the Faux Fire for the third game in this series.
A throwback to Guild versus Guild from the original Guild Wars, the Legacy of the Faux Fire has teams vying for control of 3 score-generating capture points. Locked away within each team's keep resides the Guild Lord. Killing the enemy team's Guild Lord will grant your team 150 points, potentially swaying the outcome of the match. The first team to 500 points wins.
And here we are on the Legacy of the Faux Fire. Casters are ready, just waiting for the players to ready up, and we'll get this game underway. Remember that you can bet on the next series when it comes up. We're going to have the betting over in chat. You can type !bets and then which team you want to win and how much you want to bet. And whoever wins, whoever has the most points at the end of the stream will win themselves 2,000 gems, and the second prize will be 800 gems. So definitely not something to be sniffed at there. But let's take a look at the builds going into this third game.
Yeah, just rolling over them. Not really many big, massive changes. It feels pretty close at the moment. Most of the games feel like they're down to rotational play in the matchups that are coming up in these skirmishes. So, you know, we're seeing at the moment Kaz is going over to the Carrion Amulet, actually, and going for Rune of Scavenging, which helps, you know, get a little bit of life steal as well as the extra condition damage coming from his vitality as well. So she could be nice, actually, that build could be a little bit more sustainable. Asura not changing up too much, still going, he's going for staff there. Drazir as well, going for that scrapper as well. So we see a little change here from Kaz's for his survivability. We noticed him going down there a little bit more than usual.
Yeah, it has indeed, but enough of the builds because the game is underway and we immediately see both teams charging over towards those points. We're going to see the Revenant from the blue team. Kaza is going to be heading over towards that waterfall. He's going to find himself in a 1 versus 1 up against Zan. And then over on the other side of the map, actually a 2 versus 1 kicking off in favor of TCG. They might just be able to get the quarry.
Yeah, by Kaz's leaves. And rank 55 now, kind of abandoned quarry. I mean, maybe Drazir, we can see this 1v1. Not too sure that's going to happen. And TCG have powered, we actually, sorry, we did see a DC coming out from rank 55 there as well. So we are going to have a restart of this game. Obviously, in the best of 3, when we're at 1 apiece, we don't want to, end it that way. And that is obviously within time. And excitement of the game, focusing on the middle of the screen, not looking towards the top left and the DC that just happened. So we're just going to rotate the map and try and get back in as soon as possible.
We are indeed. And I mean, in case any of you are unsure on the exact ruling of it, if the game is still in the first 2 minutes when the DC happens, there is a restart, and each team will get 1 restart per best of 3. So in the interest of fairness, we are just going to restart the third game of this series. And as well, I believe if it's in the first 4 minutes and the team that is winning gets the DC, then they can choose to restart as well. So
it can't happen all the time, though. They don't have unlimited chances. So, you know, we have a live cast, and obviously, you know, there's the idea of making sure that things are fair. So, you know, I think they've got 1 chance. They've got 1 DC.
1 per best of 3.
1 per best of 3, until they can actually, you know, have to carry on, and that's kind of the way it is.
Absolutely. And I mean, this shouts back to having those 2 routers at all times, making sure that
we could have kept going with that, man. We could have kept going with that, held it for ages. I just didn't want to do it.
I would have 2 routers, but
I would, but
one of them got lost in the post. So
my dog ain't mine.
I just got my home hub.
Let's got my home hub.
And I mean, my Wi-Fi doesn't even reach to the whole house. So
wow.
Maybe I need a second router just to have them both going, just so I've got enough Wi-Fi.
The wireless, of course, is the way to go for professional gaming.
Yeah, for sure. Or at least for professional Facebook messaging on your phone.
Mate. Yeah. Oh, we're talking about that. Okay, right. Okay, of course, we don't mean that. Make sure you get wired connection.
Yeah, definitely use wired connection.
Definitely use a wired connection.
Definitely wouldn't recommend wireless for gaming.
No.
But anyway,
we're back. I mean, look at our fantastic sets here. We've got all the great stuff and awesome camera angles and whatnot. But we're back. 5v5.
We are indeed just waiting for these guys to ready up once again, and we're going to kick everything off. So we are back onto the map here. Rank 55 Dragons up against the Civilized Gentlemen, as you can see on your screen, and it is 1 apiece here. Rank 55 managing to pull this one back during the second game, and we'll see if they can roll that momentum on to a 2-1 victory, or whether it's going to be TCG pulling this victory in for themselves. And again, the game has begun for the second time now. We see both teams charging across the map to these points.
So this is the thing, isn't it, as well? You know, when you've got that DC, now what happens? Do they change the rotation up? They know that they're going to send 2 over towards the far point as well. And maybe we saw a little bit of an issue there with one of the players, but 11 comes in to potentially, gets feared away now. now, actually, Frey drops quite low as well here over on the waterfall. So he's their main focus target, but they're being pushed away off him, and they have to help each other to survive. Kazis is here as well as also Helseth on the side. And what are they going to choose to do here? Are they going to choose to go for that? That's that team fight. That's what's happening here over on this side of the map. And they've got the Mesmers both in the same position. So rank 55 won more of these situations than TCG did before. And Frey drops down and is going to be rezzed here. So we've already seen the quickness coming out. So a lot of cooldowns being used. But Kazis drops again quite low himself. Oracle still very, very high. Seems to be doing a great job. And Frey does get dropped. He is going to be absolutely annihilated over on that waterfall point. Oracle now moves to mid as Kazis tries to equalize that, additional support over towards mid to try and take out TechSpeed and try and get a kill in their favor to equalize things up on the map.
Yeah, so still no points capped here. Helseth is going to be kiting around over at the waterfall just to try and deny the cap, but it is eventually going to go in favor of rank 55 Dragons. So with the kill and the cap, they already picked themselves up a 10-point lead, but across the map, very, very even. If the Civilized Gentlemen can grab themselves a point soon, then they are going to be in good stead to keep this one tied up. But I mean, all rank 55 have to do right now is just keep this as it is, and they will slowly but surely start to build up that advantage. And now you can see that Mankau, look at the Condi stacking up onto him, but it's going to be Oracle that seems to be the focus target right now, just trying to kite away from these fights. He has found himself in a 2 versus 1 over at the quarry, and might just be going down. Mankau on his way over to help, as is Zan. And Oracle looks like he survived just long enough for his teammates to arrive. Yeah,
Mankau jumps right in there. And Oracle can bail off point now, but still offering a lot of support for his team. And as they go for the damage, he does start to bail off. And they try to go for the extra focus, but Mankau gets around with Zan. And look at that sneak gyro. It just offers the disengage for the rest of the team members to get away there. And that's really good. And that's their calm, collective way. No matter what comp they've had, they've always been a very calm and collected team. And now, rank 55 know that they can win these biggest skirmishes that we've seen on the maps. They won it over at Waterfall before, they won a couple over on Forest, and now they're looking for that to happen. But TCG know that, and they want to try and spread it over to the side, which is potentially what Frey was doing, but just spreads that team fight across the nodes.
Yeah, absolutely. Levin actually getting taken incredibly low, and he is going to fall into downstate. The res immediately comes out, though. And look at this huge team fight. 5 versus 5 on the graveyard right now. Complete chaos.
It's old school Guild Wars, too.
This is
launch.
Yeah, pretty much. TechSpeed getting incredibly low. Frey's, though, is going to get dropped down to the floor. Is the rest going to be there? It's not going to be there as the execute comes back. Can they answer with TechSpeed? It doesn't look like it's going to be the case right now. Lord Helseth as well, starting to get focused down. And actually, this is starting to go in favor of rank 55 Dragons. They already have the point advantage, and they're starting to get onto Helseth. He's not feeling very well. Maybe he needs to see a doctor soon because he's about to drop down to the ground. Somebody manages to heal him at the last second, though, and he is going to be able to kite away from this one, but still, the caps are just about even here. 1 apiece with the graveyard still contested.
But they've been able to sustain it. Look, I mean, TCG lost members, but look what they're doing. They've stretched over towards the waterfall. Now they're in a 2v1 situation. Zan comes over. And even though TCG lost a member on the map, they've still been able to save it. Just about, as Helseth drops low. But he is able to line of sight using that part of the structure on that waterfall point to sustain himself and heal himself up. But Thunderclap comes out from Zan. Frey is in the downstate there, and we are going to see him dropped, but we are nice res, but Helseth, as he goes for that, he gets pressured as well. But then we are going to see the extra support coming out, and they're doing a fantastic job over on this part of the map, mainly because another Lord comes in, offering the support that they need. And will the Red Team be able to survive this? I don't think they will be able to, because the Oracle is at mid still, and he's not there to give them the quickness, and we are going to see TCG grab this mid cap. Oracle needs to move over to the waterfall desperately.
He does indeed. He's just having to try and escape. He blinked in to try and deny the cap, but it was too late, and now he's in a little bit of trouble. Looks like he is going to be able to get away from this one in the end as TechSpeed is going to distract Lord Helseth, but Draze might not be so lucky as he goes down over at the quarry. Mankau, once again, for the second time in this best of 3, wins out the 1v1, and that is going to be the quarry going over to rank 55. They have a 2-cap advantage now.
Yeah, but Oracle needs to be careful here. Is he going to commit to this fight. It doesn't need to because the pressure's on Frey. But just as that happens, he can move in now, just as Frey is dropping quite low. I'm staying inside the Mesmer's perspective here to see what comes out in terms of the extra boonage and damage. And Frey's dropped so low. And Helseth brings out the quickness and everything to try and bring out the rest. They're not able to, and Frey goes down again. And they are starting to lose this situation. Karzes and Frey, main targets for this team, the easiest targets for them to pick off. And it doesn't feel like the Necro is being that useful in this series at all at the moment for this team currently. In different situations, perhaps in the 1v1s, yes, but he's being dropped down. And Karzes as well. We've been seeing them so dominant in other weeks of the Pro League and obviously in the past of Guild Wars 2. This is great play at the moment. They do lose the cap. But I think TCG are going to be able to hold on to this. I don't know if they're going to lose it completely. Look. They grab themselves the quarry. Easy. Yes, they lose the caps.
TCG doing a really good job across the map to just maintain control and deny control from rank 55. They still have the graveyard in their favor. All they have to do is keep these decaps contested, and actually Frey's so close to grabbing the quarry, but it looks like the contest might just come out in time. And in fact, they abandoned the point. They're not even going for it. They're going for the kill onto Mankau. Zan is going to be there, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Mankau so close to getting dropped down, and they decide to retreat, go for the cap, and now they're going to go for the fight.
I mean, this now is a really, really great rotation. A look at the support there that comes out for Mankau. He needs to disengage this completely, and so does Zan. I mean, they're I'm not sure why we've... Oh, no, we've seen the Oracle coming in. There's the support they need to make sure they can carry this fight again. But really, they lost... TCG were losing this fight on Waterfall. Yeah. Look what happened across the map. They got complete control. They calmed down. They got back into a situation. They are being controlled and calmed and collective. 55 got really, really pigeonholed into that point, getting sucked into the fact that they were winning that fight and they didn't move into the map. And unfortunately, that has cost them a lot here. It's cost them the lead as well.
I think the biggest issue as well is they didn't win the fight fast enough. They got that one kill, but after that kill, the respawn had already come out before the fight ended. So it just meant that TCG essentially were forced to rotate elsewhere, and that's immediately what they did. Levin, though, is not going to be rotating very far very soon as he gets taken so low. Not quite going down, and the heal is going to come out in the last second. Lord of Zero now has found himself in a 2 versus 1 and might just be in a little bit of trouble over at the waterfall, but Texby has found himself going down over at the quarry. The res is going to come through, though, and he's going to be able to survive, looking for the decap, but Lord Helseth is not going to allow that to happen anytime soon. Blink comes out from Texby, and he's just trying his best to escape here.
I'm very surprised from rank 55 fighting a 1v2 Elementalist over on that side of the map. The Elementalist has so many advantage playing on Waterfall, and still, you know, they've left the Oracle now. He can't support in the team situations where he's so useful. So look, TCG are winning it. They're gonna get the kill on Zan. Zan's got no Oh, he might be able to disengage here. He does get the stealth gyro off, but now they have, ever since Waterfall, losing one member, TCG, they bounced off that and they're winning the game. That is not the expectation that were coming out. Frey should be raised here. Oh no, the cleave is good from the team. They're able to counter that and maybe bounce off that damage. They're confident without the Oracle here.
Karzes as well is going to be dropped into down state. We'll see if anyone is going to be able to get him back to his feet. Does get the knockback, but there's nobody anywhere near to pick him back up. Karzes is going to go down, and the decap will happen at Quarry. So 100-point advantage still for TCG. The cap advantage, though, slowly but surely waning away here. We are going to see Zan be able to pick up this Quarry, and now the fight moves over towards the graveyard. Helseth going to be the focus target, but Fraze will be there to help him out, and it's turned into a 3 versus 3 here for the graveyard. Waterfall still in that 1 versus 1. Ellie versus Mesmer, sorry. And now the fight, I mean, just pretty much chaos over in the mid.
I mean, a good thing at least is that the Oracle is in a position where he's 1v1ing the Elementalist. So because they left that situation, look how much it's changed, this situation now. They're able to get a cap and get back into the game in the map. At least they've got the support, the bunker, versus the other support as well. So, you know, it's not Mesmer versus Mesmer, but it's Mesmer versus Ellie. And Lord Asura, he's been really carrying some of these team support fights. But unfortunately here, Texby's going to be dropped. He doesn't rally Karzes, though, because he dropped just before he did. And now we are going to see potentially 2 down. Oh my god, Frey and Karzes down. And Dresset and Helseth. Oh my god, absolute pain.
This is going to be the wipe. This is going to be a
What's the-
4-man wipe coming. Texby goes
amazing.
down, and then in a 3 versus 4, they get the wipe across the team. Lord Helseth just slowly but surely bleeding out, and Zan is going to be able to capture the graveyard. They got the quarry as well, and rank 55 just suddenly turned the entire game on his head. They get the 2-cap now. In fact, this is looking like a 3-cap as Oracle is on the waterfall as well. Are they going to...
No.
No.
What are you doing? They're closing, opening the door? They've got 2 members here.
Setting
This
it up
isn't...
for later, maybe.
Where are they rotating to here? Because they've already let 3 players rush because they're going to go for Lord fairly soon. They've only got 19 points until, so they're going to hold the fight over on Quarry, and they want to get a decap and maybe some kills to carry them to 350. Looks like TCG potentially are either going for a distract Lord rush potential to sucker in members of rank 55, away from going for their own Lord Rush, actually, which is maybe a potential idea they've actually pulled characters across the map here. So rank 55 aren't in a great position to Lord Rush, whereas if TCG win this fight, they can Lord Rush and win.
They absolutely
If they get the kills and the caps here.
But this is their thing. If they win the fight, and what a fight it is.
And look at the caps they're ticking.
The quarry. They are indeed. It is. Let's bear in mind that this is a 3-cap.
Still
This
got
is a
3 cap.
risky strategy coming out from Civilized Gentlemen. They have to win this fight. And so far, they're barely touching their health bars right now of rank 55. TCG have to pull something out of the bag.
They're
Rank
losing
55,
this fight.
Rank
They're
55
losing it.
are in range of a Lord Rush right now to win the game if they want to, but they don't even need to. They've got a 3-cap. They just have to hold exactly how they are.
At the moment, TCG have lost this game. They've lost this series. Because they can't win this fight or they're starting to pull into their favor now as they get people back up to higher HP. But just as that happens, we see the support coming out from not only Texby, gets his heal off there, back up to full HP almost, their whole team. And they're just going to hold this at the moment. Lord Helseth gets combat medic because he's working his absolute butt off at the moment to keep his team in this. And if they do lose this game, that's going to be TCG and Orange Logo, 2 of our favorites of today, losing their series. And it's 430 points at the moment. TCG have got nothing left in this fight, it feels like. As Karzes drops so low at the moment, Frey low HP as well, and they're going for a desperation move. But it doesn't matter if they get the Lord. Let them go for the Lord. They've still not got all the caps. Texby is raised back up here. It's all desperation from TCG. They are all over the shop at the moment. Frey goes in for the Lord kill, potentially with Draza here as well. But Texby, he doesn't want to die over here. They've still got to get 19 points. What are they doing at the moment? They're not going to get anything out of this. They're just going for the Lord Rush.
Yeah, Zan is there to try and protect the Lord as well. They've not
got
got
enough
very long
healing
left. There's
support.
still 3 caps going. It looks
This
like
is
the
over.
game is going to rank 55
We've got to kill Mankow's dead though, look. Oh no, there you go.
It
That's
doesn't
it.
matter. It's too
not
late.
enough.
It's way too late. 502
Whoa.
points to rank 55 Dragons. TCG with a ridiculously risky play at the end there. I mean, all of their eggs in one basket, but they didn't. They weren't within the threshold to get the Lord. Even if they got the Lord, they wouldn't have won the game. They would still have been 19 points away.
Hi Joe, how you doing?
Not 100% sure. I feel like that was kind of a very risky call, and like had it gone better at the quarry, had rank 55 not been able to read it, then maybe it could have worked. If they'd got that one cap, then that could have worked.
It was
But rank
good.
55 read it like a book.
Oh, they did. They really did. And they've won those team fight situations on numerous occasions. You know, it's not just like, hi, you know, it's been fairly even. You know, that's been the case. And TCG did control the map for quite a while in that game, and they were able to come back. But then that mid-fight wipe was pinnacle in that free cap contention for rank 55 Dragons. Oh my God, so much hype today, man. I mean, to TCG and Orange Logo, I think a lot of people were expecting those 2 teams would go to finals for EU. They have been defeated today. Yeah. They have been defeated. In the 2 of the biggest games for Vermilion and rank 55 that they will play. I can't wait to see Vermilion versus rank 55.
Yeah, we should have a winner's interview for you guys. With someone from rank 55 Dragons. Should be able to get this sorted for you guys. It is going to be Levin from rank 55 Dragons.
Look at that.
We'll be able to have a chat with him and see how he's feeling after that series. And I mean, what a series it was. Went to 3 games in the end. And we are going to have a chat with Levin now in just a second. Gonna bring him onto
Oh,
your
really?
screen.
How is this supposed to work?
Hey!
Hello.
I have no idea. I'm gonna mute myself in TS Ghost.
No, you good. We've got you, Levin.
We're live already, so don't even
You're
worry
right.
about muting yourself, buddy. How are you feeling after that insane best-of-3 series up against TCG? Oh,
He's not feeling too well, apparently.
he's not feeling happy at all.
Okay.
How are you going,
can't
Levin?
hear-
Can we hear you, buddy? Can we hear the old mate?
Sorry. Can you maybe? Oh, can you?
Okay, let's just double-check that everything's
It's all
rocking
good.
and rolling.
We're just trying to get
right.
Levin for you. It would be nice to see it. We saw it in the World Tournament Series. You saw his face for a little bit, but we will see him hopefully in a little moment or two. But I can talk about that game as well very, very quickly. We still have a series left today, of course. Car Crash versus Chaotic. And I'm looking forward to seeing that series as well, because today has brought a whole kettle of fish I didn't expect to actually take as well. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen in that series. I actually have no idea at all now, based off what's been happening today. But yeah, it's been good so far, and looking forward to what's going on. He's
Okay, so what we're
looking
going to do,
patient.
what we're going to do is I'm going to type the questions to Levin. He can't hear me right now, but we're going to overcome this hurdle.
Okay.
I'm going to type the questions to Levin, and we'll get this interview underway. So I'm just
Awesome.
going to let him know what's going on.
Yeah, no worries. Mr. Levin from rank 50. He's got to be pretty chuffed, right? In all honesty, I'd be pretty happy, especially beating your old boss, Mr. Alsef, and some top quality players. Actually, some 1v1s maybe I wasn't expecting 100% to be won and or lost potentially, but
Okay, what we're going to do, in fact, instead of typing the questions, we are going to go to our break before our next best of 3, and we're going to do our winners interview after this short break, so we can have a chat with Levin from Rank 55 Dragons and see how he's feeling after such an incredible series. We'll be back in just a few. Hello everybody and welcome back to the Guild Wars 2 Pro League. As my face is cut right off by the camera, we're going to be heading into our winners interview with Levin from Rank 55 Dragons, and he's going to be talking to us about how he's feeling coming off the back of that series. And I mean, what a series it was. TCG took the first game, such a close second game, and Rank 55 really controlled the map beautifully. And then the third game, the sort of attempted half Lord Rush coming out from TCG to end it. I mean, let's speak to Levin. Let's find out what he says
he's the one.
about this one. So we'll bring up Levin on your screens. How are you doing, man? How are you feeling off the back of that series?
I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling really relieved. That all this
Relieved?
stuff is over. It was really tough games for us.
I've got a question, because most of those team engagements we saw you guys winning actually. How good? So you're pretty confident about your team fighting, right? How much of an important role does having that bunker mesmer as being something that's obviously come in new to the scene recently and into the meta? How important is that for you in terms of your team fighting? Just to explain maybe a little bit about that.
I think Bunker Mesmer, because of the melt, is really strong in team fights. It really helps you so sustaining, and now you got this distortion wall that helps you to wait a lot on point, and you don't even lose cap points while you're standing in it. So that really helps to team fight. We used to play with the normal Chronomancer Shatter Mesmer, but that normally didn't work out too well for us, because Misha always got trains mostly from Warrenins, sometimes from Scrappers, and playing with Bunker Mesmer was just a lot easier in general.
Amazing stuff. Yeah, and your role actually has changed completely, just yourself, right? I mean, you're playing Revenant now. You're playing a completely new class.
Well, it's still not too different.
No?
I mean, Revenant is pretty different, but you still have some ports, and
Yeah.
I'm still more like a ZTBS on my team, so that's still fine. It feels a lot different, but I always used to multi-class a lot, so that's fine to most degree.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, so another question would be, how much of the victory today over TCG would you say is down to sort of map control and game knowledge, and how much would you say was down to individual players sort of outplaying their opponents, outskilling their opponents?
That's a pretty hard question. I would say it's more to individual play. Mancow had some really good 1v1 runs, and we mostly won our team fights, so that was probably the thing that actually made the game most of the time. For example, I think in both maps that we actually won, we had one, not at least two big team wipes, and then, for example, at the end of Legacy, we wiped 4 members at mid, and then we got a triple cap and just hold it towards the end. So I guess that's pretty much what made the game.
Yeah, we lost it a little bit. when that whole situation occurred. I think I was focused so hard on the movement towards Waterfall, wasn't expecting that team fight to switch. So what was it that really brought it round for you guys, that Legacy push where you got that team wipe? I mean, how did that, were you ready for the focus that came out on that point, or was it fairly unexpected?
It was rather unexpected. We were normally just trying to focus mostly the Necro Frey, or Kaze depending, but we would rather focus Frey, and then just everything collapsed in itself, and they were all dead suddenly. That was pretty amazing. We didn't expect that at all.
Yeah, by the look on your face and the confirmation, I think, we were okay to maybe not expect that one as well. Wow, amazing stuff. Congratulations, dude. That was well played, and we've had some interesting series today for sure.
We certainly have.
Thanks, Trevor. We really enjoyed it.
Good stuff, good stuff.
Okay, so that was Levin, everyone. Thank you so much for the interview, and enjoy your victory. And we'll be seeing him again next week on the map, and we'll see if he's going to be able to continue to get those victories on the board. Rank 55 Dragons now with 2 wins, and let's take a look at the standings so far for today. We have 2 of our teams now guaranteed with first position. We have Rank 55 Dragons and Vermilion at the top of the standings.
Yeah, good stuff. Card crashed, chaotic contingency, the next matchups to come up. Oh, the last matchup as well. Oh, you sure you don't want to go for a couple more? I'm getting into this even more today. I reckon I could go for a couple more, but hey ho, it is getting quite late in the day, as we've had quite a,
Hey,
Last couple of weeks, we've actually ended a little bit earlier than this. We've still got a series to go. Another potential exciting series as well.
Yeah.
So we've got two of our, later qualifying teams coming up against each other.
CC up against CC. God help us if one of them runs a control comp and we're shouting about CC during the CC versus CC game.
Could get a little bit confusing.
Yeah, fingers crossed that doesn't happen. But we are going to be heading onto the map. Almost all the players are ready. I mean, we've talked enough about the previous series. Now we've got our winners in place. Let's talk about our upcoming matchup. It is Car Crashed up against Chaotic Contingency. Now, this is our fourth and final game of the day. Both of these teams, unfortunately, losing out in their first series, and both of them really going to have something to prove coming into this the last best of three of the day.
Yeah, it's similar to that more Guns N' Roses kind of Purple Noise matchup that we had earlier. They want to try and get their feet in the door and try and get into the actual series here. But hopefully for them, for both teams, they're going to be calm and collected. They've had a lot of time. It's getting quite late in the day as well. And it's going to be interesting to see how well these teams perform in this series in the last of the day. There's quite a few different members and quite a few different players that are going to be very, very key in the success for both teams. And I'm wondering how well Temple's going to go for, especially Car Crash. He might not have had as much scrim practice that maybe the other team have. And yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, we'll have to see how this one pans out. And I mean, first map, once again, it is going to be Temple. So definitely a whole lot of space for clutches if you can get that stillness buff, if you can get all of the different sort of the tranquility as well. I feel like tranquility is really the big one. That's the one where the clutches really come out. And then obviously stillness, if you're winning already or if you're one cap down, is going to be either the equalizer or that thing that really sort of tilts the balance in your favor. But then tranquility is the one that's kind of like just flips the game on its head.
It really does. It flips everything. So it's important that those teams are able, especially a great comeback potential as well. But yeah, we'll have to see how well it goes.
We certainly will as we head on to the map. Just getting everybody onto this one as we try. Unfortunately, the server did crash there, so we're just getting rolling with
the punches. We're doing all right. We've had quite a pretty good cast tonight. I mean, we've had some unexpected things happening.
We've had some ridiculous games tonight. I mean,
brilliant stuff.
The third game between More Guns N' Roses and Purple Noise was just absolutely insane. In fact, definitely the best Guild Wars game I've cast. I can't speak for you, but I think that's probably the best one that I've seen.
No, it is definitely one of the most fun games of the series I've definitely cast, and especially with the outcome as it was, it was interesting in itself.
Yeah, it was, and I mean, again, I'm going back to things we've already said earlier, but I really feel like the 2-0 to More Guns N' Roses it felt almost unfair to Purple Noise and how close it was between them.
Oh, it was painful.
But I mean, it happens to the best of us, and they will have their opportunity to redeem themselves next week. Next Monday, obviously, we are going to be back on the 7th, 6 p.m. GMT is when we kick everything off with the next week of the Pro League. But let's talk about the series at hand. Chaotic Contingency up against Car Crash. Now, both of these teams qualified in the recent qualifier 2 weeks ago. We cast their games, and in fact, both of them came into the tournament without losing a single map. They both came through the qualifier undefeated. And then in the first week, unfortunately, going up against the top 4 pre-qualified teams, they did both end up losing out their first games. So we'll see if they've been able to sort of jump back on that metaphorical horse and see how they're feeling heading into this series.
Indeed. But we need to jump probably into maybe the map as well, and I can maybe get into the game, and we can probably start to get this underway. Yeah,
absolutely. We should be able to head onto the map for you guys. And we can start to talk about builds and stuff. We are just waiting for one other player to head onto that map as well. It is going to be Temple to kick this best of 3 off. And we should be able to bring that up on your screens in just a couple of seconds. So we'll just heavily hinting.
It's definitely going to happen in the near future. But
Victory is never assured in the Temple of the Silent Storm. In this conquest map, players will fight for control of 3 score-generating capture points. Awareness is key, as powerful meditation points will spawn around the map at various intervals and grant powerful bonuses to the team that claims them. Stillness will grant your team double points for each capture point owned. Tranquility will grant your team control of all 3 capture points. The first team to 500 points wins.
And here we are back, not actually on the map. Just, we will be. We promise. We promise that we will be on the map at some point today. I hope so, at least.
We will do. Trust us. We're doctors. We're not really. If I was a
believe
doctor, you don't want that to be happening in your life.
To be fair, in the UK League of Legends scene, there are 2 casters that are both doctors, so it could happen. It could happen. Random fact of the day.
It's a great fact of the day as well. It's a great fact. And
I mean, you could say, since I've cast with them so many times, that by proxy I am a doctor.
Really?
I don't 100% know how the medical system works, but I'm pretty sure if you hang out with doctors, you eventually become a doctor. I'm like 70% certain that's how it works. So if you're ever in need of medical aid, Jebro, I'm your guy.
Yes! Yes, Joe. Excellent stuff, and we're ready.
Dr. Munch
We're
on the
in.
scene. Are we on the map?
We are in, my mate.
On the map.
Me old buddy.
Well, we promised you that we were going on the map, and we actually are now. There it is.
We're not lying.
Temple
We're not lying.
Silent Storm. Let's take a look at these lineups. Let's start, in fact, with Chaotic Contingency. Since they have 5 players, let's take a look. We'll kick off with the Druid that is Tiki.
Indeed. So let's have a look at him. He's got 2 glyphs. He's going with the Signet of Stone as well. He's going to go Sword and also for the Staff. A Celestial Amulet there as well, of course, is going for durability. Going for marksmanship here, and he's going to be grabbing the trait I was talking about earlier as well, Moment of Clarity, which synergizes well with this build. Enhanced days and stun durations, which means he's going to have more chance to get Ancient Seeds off for that mini entangle, which is also quite powerful and strong as well. There's also getting, some nice swiftness and whatnot from the build, activating that 5th ability from the Warhorn when he does hit that trait. So let's jump over to Pharos here as well. He's going to be playing the Revenant. Looks like he's going to be going for that Dragon stance there as well. Zerka, he's playing the Zerka Joe, and he's going to be playing Sword Shield. Staff, of course, which we've seen more often than not before this week, of course. We saw condition builds creeping in. The prototype, Celestial, he's going to be going for Rune and Nightmare, but focusing mainly on conditions with the Scepter and the offhand Warhorn there. Going for Spiked, Soul Reaping, and a Reaper there as well, of course. Going for Deathly Chill, something we're seeing a lot of, stacking those mites. As well as Karam. We heard from Karam last week. They are looking to come into this, as well as Car Crash, of course, to pick up a win. Their first win of the Pro League in this 2nd week. Celestial with that Rune of the Soldier, of course, as well, removing some of those conditions, but going for Dagger here as well. Angie Rev as well, going to be playing with the Wanderer's Amulet, which we saw last week more of as well, as he changes between Vipers and Wanderers, and then Vipers again, and then back to Wanderers. So we're going to have to wait and see which is exactly the one he will pick. But he will be going for Condi Rev with Pharos on the more Zerka-focused Rev.
So let's take a look at the other CC squad we have coming up here. Car Crashed is going to be their name. They're going to be on the red side of this map. Let's start it all off with Blackjack.
Indeed. He's going to be running Dagger as well. They're going for the shouts as well as the lightning flash blink on the utilities. He's going to be running Arcane, though, with Water, and also for Tempest there as well. He's going to be running with that Celestial Amulet, the Soldier Rune, to make sure that he's able to remove some of those conditions from himself and potentially from his allies. We are going to go over towards the Mesmer. Bunker Mesmer coming out for Car Crash, and this is going to be played by... Wow, okay. We saw Super playing on Bunker Mesmer last week, I do believe. And now it's going to be Sam, who was playing Dragon Hunter. Now, this is really interesting thing, which I haven't really thought about too much tonight. How many Dragon Hunters have we seen?
Actually, yeah, that's a very good point. We haven't seen any Dragon Hunters.
How this has not been something which has been used tonight at all. And because we've seen more sustain and stuff coming out from the you know, from all these builds, even Revenants to a degree, even though they're really heavy damage focused, they've got a lot of survivability. Whereas, you know, maybe we're not seeing the Dragon and Hunter played high at this high level anymore.
I mean, tonight it's been all about kind of sustain and condies, like either sustain damage or sustain like healing and keeping yourselves alive. Dragon Hunter really doesn't fit that fit either of those categories at all. So maybe meta sort of shifting away from those bursty classes.
So, I mean, then that's, you know, what it's like when you come out of a brand new expansion. New builds get to be found, and that's what happened. End of story as well, really, as we go over towards Super. He's back on his engineer here, going for Hammer with the Holbrack and with the amulets of the Marauder. And he's going to be playing Slick Shoes with Elixir B and also Elixir Gun as well. So very similar builds that we've seen throughout the night for the engineers. Count Scout. And we're playing Druid here with the Marksman and with the Beast Mastery version of this build. So he can go a little bit more for the damage orientation in terms of this as well, of course. You can see going for Remorseless there as well as, no, he's going for Prime Workers here for the reduced cooldown on his stuff. I believe we've seen him playing with Druidic Clarity as well. If they're going up against more condition-heavy teams, which they are at the moment, we might switch that. And then we've got Posey, who is playing on his Necro, and he's going to be going with the Rune of Aristocracy. Very similar to builds we've seen today with the Scepter, of course. And then we're going to go Soul Ripping, Spite, and Reaper there. And that's going to be the teams for the final series of today.
It certainly is. And just before we kick off, make sure you put your bets down in Twitch chat. We've not really mentioned it that much today, but we do have a betting bot in chat. You can type !bets to put your points down on who you think is going to be able to take this best of 3 series, and whoever has the most points at the end of the stream will win themselves a handful of gems to spend on whatever they so wish. But let's get into this series. Everybody is on the map, and we're ready to get things underway. Just telling the players that we are more than ready to get going, and I think the players are just about ready as well, so should be able to start things off for you guys. I mean, we're pretty much repeating ourselves at this point, so I would love for this game to start.
Yeah, they've been waiting for a while. I mean, I think they're probably thinking, maybe we'll just chill out in the Temple of the Silent Storm. It's nice here. It might be a bit cold.
I mean, Skyships, like,
Skyships.
Can't really argue with that.
No.
If I had to pick a place to chill, Skyships would be where I would chill.
There's some nice, I mean, these weapons are pretty... Oh, we are going to start the game. This first
Believe it or not,
series.
Guild Wars is about to happen.
Guild Wars is about to happen.
Two guilds are about to war.
Yes.
See what I did there? There was even a 2.
I like it. Yeah, that was really good.
Anyway, speaking of 2, that's how many seconds until this game gets underway. Car crashed up against Chaotic Contingency. The 4 Cs are going to be battling away, and immediately we see people charging straight towards the middle of the map, diving straight past each other to contest those home points. And we see a 1 versus 1 already going down in the middle of the map.
Yes, well, let's drop down and have a look at this 1v1 quickly. He's going to have the Bunker Mesmer there. Sam's going to be in that position. And we've seen the Bunker Mesmer more in the Bunker Support Mesmer, sorry, in the position where he's going to be in the team fight, actually, to be honest. And we're just going to jump over to mid. Sorry, a little bit of lag there, but it's all good now as we jump over towards this temple point when Ken Scout is just holding the point with Posey. Posey quite low, but they are following Tiki, who's very low himself. Are they going to go for the down here? Angie trying to come in for the res, but so close to actually coming to get him back up there, but not able to in the end. Alta is looking pretty interesting as well.
I just got to say quickly, that execution animation is badass.
Joe's just saying what he thinks now. Yes, it is pretty badass. I mean, it's mean. The massive dragon coming out of the fawns there, which is, it's very orientated around the expansion, of course. But the Alta action, they pushed them away in the end over towards this midpoint and potentially around the stillness area.
Very, very even game so far. Probably the closest start we've seen today. Posey getting chunked out here is going to be able to sustain himself a little bit better. He does have that life force to fall back on as you are going to see those Reaper Necros using, but he's all out of life force right now, and he is going to be dropped down to the ground. Is anybody going to be able to get the res? That's the question. With a sub in play, the synergy might suffer, but they've managed to pull him back onto his feet, and both teams pretty much 5 versus 5 here on the middle point, and just complete chaos as Prototype is going to be the first one to fall in this battle, and it might just be the fight won out for Chaos, or for Car Crash.
Yeah, I mean, the Necros are the first targets. You're seeing them, and is that a sign of something for the Necro, of something that could change in the future as well? Because they're having issues. The Necros are still having problems in this meta at the moment. You know, they've been taken out, but still can be played very effectively. Of course, we saw earlier in the day that coming out for Purple Noise and also for various teams. But we are going to see now, essentially, Posey might be taken out here again over on this midpoint, but does get some support that he needs. And Angie will actually actually pulled right into that gravity well there. So we're going to have to see how well this fight goes over on this midpoint. It's everything rests there at the moment. So they get the kills here and there. Posey does drop into downstate here. Is Sam able to drop off the quickness they need to try and res him back up? They're not able to in the end, still in downstate. And we don't see that team fight capability as well being that successful with the Mesmer there, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. Posey really not having a fun time of it. Just been focused this entire fight. Finally does go down. And it is going to be the man advantage in favor of Chaotic Contingency. We'll see what they're going to be able to do with that. But Prototype, once again, is going to be the focus target of Car Crash. Are they going to be able to finish him? No, gets picked up by his teammates. And that is going to keep this fight just about even. We see a 1v1 going on as well elsewhere on the map. But I don't think all too much is going to be going on between those two players. Just Karam and Super duking it out as we see Prototype once again knocked down to the ground. His team immediately rushing to try and pick him back up, but Karam is actually getting incredibly low in the 1v1. Posey as well is going to be dropped down to the floor, and actually the res might not be available. 25 stacks of...
they need to bail off this.
Stacks.
Like, at the moment... Car Crash. Oh no, if they get Posey off at mid, that's going to be quite good. They don't. They need to be careful here. They don't want to lose Sam. They've got the 2-cap because they've got stillness for a bit. Regroup, and that's what they're starting to do. They're hoping that Sam can hold on. He held on for longer than I expected there. Are we going to see the res coming in from Blackjack or other members? I don't think that's going to be the case. He get cleaves out and finished in the end as well. They still got the 2-cap and stillness. Don't want to lose players here. They should have bailed off. They should have given it up. And that's the difference maybe between the team like Rank 55 and Car Crash here, because they did lose that in the end. They had the double cap in their favor. They could have just played it cool there.
Yeah, and this is one of the big differences, like you say, between the good teams and the great teams is not knowing when not to overextend, knowing when not to push it too far. Can Scout knows all about pushing it too far, as he is going to fall down to the ground, but luckily someone is going to be around to pick him back up onto his feet. And most of the fight has shifted to both of these side points. We have a 2v2 on either side, and then a couple of members just battling it out in the mid, heading over towards the home point of the blue side.
I was about to say, like, blue team members know this isn't good. Like, if they want to go for it, they want to go for the 1v1. They don't want to have the 2v2 of the Bunker Mesmer and the Druid there, because it's never going to end and they're never going to be able to get anything out of it. So they've separated off the point to a 1v1 situation where the Prototype is over on the altar and has been taken out again here. Blackjack will try and offer up some support so they're able to make sure that the Prototype does go down. No one's going in for the res. It's not going to happen. Karam is next on the list for Car Crash to be taken out here. Goes through his Earth Overload to grab himself some protection over on the side of the point as well. As we go over to Karam, he's still doing okay though, and we will see the points being fine at the moment for the team of Chaotic Contingency at the moment.
Okay, so a little bit of lag going on this stream, but I can still see the game on mine, so I'll just audio cast this one for you guys. And in fact, it has caught up, but you can see that over here on the altar, just complete chaos in this 3 versus 3, I believe it is. The gate has been decapped though, so now pretty much even in points and pretty much even in caps right now. It's really going to be down to rotations here. Who is going to be able to out-rotate their opponents or just win out one of these team fights to start to take that point lead?
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, you know, it's so close. And we're going to see massive buffs coming up for both teams, and they need to get people in position. Farrell's dying over towards the temple is not going to help them in terms of trying to get those caps across the map. He's left, though. It's going to be quicker in the end for him to just completely die out. But is he going to res himself? He is, because he's next to a cap which is open. But, oh, no. This could be bad. If Can Scout goes back over there and kills him, Farrell's is going to be out of the game for so long. Oh,
he
wow.
is, in fact, just bleeding out. He's changed his mind. He's done.
That's good, because he's
given up on life.
Yeah, he's been out of the game for so long now.
Yeah.
That's really, really that's been awful for them, to be honest, especially with the map, how things are going on for them at the moment. They need to get back downstairs.
Posey only just surviving on life force right there. He's about to run out, though, and he is going to be dropped down. Oh, no, he gets the heal at the last second. Torment stacking up, but he just stands still for a bit. But now he's going to be dropped down and rezzed. So all of those Condi's going to be removed from himself when he drops down to the ground. And complete chaos still going on here, but a 2-cap has managed to come out in favor of Car Crashed.
Yeah, and they're doing a good job here. They're starting to really pile on the pressure, and at the moment, we need to see a decap coming out from blue team. It sounds obvious, but they need that momentum to push them back into the game, to maybe even go for Tranquility. We know that, of course, you know, different teams have different, play differently on these maps. Car Crash actually proving me wrong with my earlier kind of bit of information. I haven't seen Car Crash play on this map so much, and they're actually doing a fantastic job with the 2 caps still in their favor for quite a while now as well.
Yeah, really, really good job to maintain this 2-cap, and as well to be contesting their opponent's 1-cap. So literally no point income right now aside from kills for Car Crash, and it's gonna for Chaotic Contingency, sorry, and it is gonna be Car Crash slowly but surely climbing up in those points. And Chaotic Contingency, they were almost dead even for so long, and now it's starting to look like Car Crash are not far away from getting 100 points ahead of their opponents with just 6.5 minutes left on the clock. Chaotic Contingency really need to pull this together.
Yeah, we've got a lot more. Maybe we've just got a lot more sustain. We've actually had a DC as well playing out for the blue team for a little bit of time here. I think my game's catching up with me, but I'm not sure this has actually been. We had someone actually leaving the map as well, but I think it's been too long for the game to be restarted or anything, and that's part, you know, the main reason why we've got this massive lead at the moment. And I don't think anything's actually been said about this at the moment. So
has rejoined the game now.
Has rejoined the game. I'm not sure how long that would actually happening for. So
I'm not 100%
actually
sure.
have a look. I was so focused on the map, I just maybe missed that bit of information, unfortunately. But no. At the moment, really starting to nail ahead with the point score at the moment.
The game goes on, and down at the fight for Tranquility, we do see Posey going ham onto Tiki, but not quite going to be able to finish that kill off just yet. He is now going to be slowly but surely chased down, and it looks like Car Crashed heading towards this Tranquility buff. They are not far away from winning out this game. It looks like this one might be just about over as Tiki goes down. Pretty unfortunate. They did have that DC. It was too late in the game, though, to go for that restart. And now, with Tiki down and the cap advantage still for Car Crash, the mana advantage across the map in their favor as well, they might just be able to slowly but surely finish this one out. A 200-point advantage in their favor. But all is not lost. They are 30 points away from victory. If the decap comes out, though, there could be a miracle 3-cap potentially. I believe in the comeback, the miracle comeback.
These guys know me pretty well in Twitch chat, and normally I would just be, yeah, it's possible. 499, they're coming back. Opposite team.
They're going to come back.
I don't know if it's going to be the case.
I believe it.
No. Recap over on the mid. But this game's pretty much over. But, you know, things have happened today when the Temple not necessarily the most the greatest map for some of these teams, and we've experienced that a lot today. So looking forward to seeing whether or not Chaotic Contingency can bring it back, get their connections a little bit more secure, have a look and tell their brother or sister to stop downloading stuff. And
I keep on saying about the double modem. It needs to happen. Double modem is the future. It's the way forward, guys. But we'll have to see if they're going to be able to get that sorted for themselves for this next game. Fingers crossed if they do end up DCing again, it's within the first couple of minutes so that we can get that game restarted for them. But it is going to mean that Car Crash do pick up the first win in this series.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, unfortunately, there's not a massive amount we can really say about that game because it feels like there were connection issues for the team.
Yeah.
And I don't feel the contingency weren't as strong. You know, we can talk maybe about the opener and how that went for them. But they were just trading kills for a long time. You know, Posey deads, prototype deads,
yeah.
Posey deads, prototype deads. Then slowly they got the advantage and managed to push out, and they actually pulled a 1v1 over on the altar. Which in the end, I think Car Crash, it felt like those guys won as far as I remember. And they were able to kind of move around the map slowly but surely, pushing the guys. But you could tell the difference between some of those players, like Sam now moving, playing that Bunker Mesmer as well, which is something, you know, as far as I know, he doesn't play Mesmer as much. He hasn't got as much experience as Helsef and the Oracle. That is just obvious, because we've always seen them playing Mesmer. Apart from a couple of occasions when Helsef's played in Necro. But we won't talk about that.
Bad memories. No, but I mean, yeah, while there was a DC, it did feel like even in the early game, Car Crash were slowly but surely pulling out the victory, slowly but surely eking those points in their favor. And in the end, they do take this first game in the series. So Car Crash won the series up against Chaotic Contingency. And we'll see if the blue CC team has a contingency plan right now, because they are onto the second map of this best of three. They have to win this one for themselves, or it is going to be a victory for Car Crash, and they will be dropped down to 7th place, which is not really the spot that they want to be. They'll be sharing that with Purple Noise, and we'll see whether they're going to be able to pull themselves back. I mean, we've seen it's going to be Forest of Niflhel next, as it has been in the other best of threes, and we've seen some crazy games on this map. I think Forest of Niflhel is quickly becoming my favorite map.
It's always,
it's just chaotic. It's so much fun to watch.
It's brilliant. You know, you've got the bosses on the sides, which can really increase your point score as well. You've just got the different points of the map, which can be accessed by different classes. You know, like Mesmer's blinking up, Ellie's lightning flashing up to the top and in the keep above that area there to escape in different points of view. You know, we saw some Helsef just holding a cap by just, you know, dipping up to the top, using his staff, his phase retreat, to make sure he could hold that point. And, you know, with some clutch kind of plays coming out from Mesmers, Elementalists, other ports as well coming out from different players. So, you know, it's really interesting how they can hold these caps, hold these concessions, but, you know, pull out a boss kill. I really want to see a game ended on a boss kill again, because those moments are just amazing. Not that we haven't had those hype kind of moments tonight anyway.
I mean, we've seen that anyway. And I think one of my favorite things that I've seen on this map today was when we saw Rank 55 Dragons opener, when I think that's kind of what you were alluding to, when they rushed that boss kill right at the start, got them the point advantage, and they didn't lose out elsewhere on the map. That's the key thing. That's
so important, because I'm not sure I'd advise you to do that in PvP if you're solo queuing, but if you've got, if you know your team,
you've got the coordination,
and you've got the coordination, and you know your plan, like that works. They can sustain the 1v2 or however it was at mid and get the boss kill quickly. You can pull back, and they were able to survive those fights. And that surviving those fights, not just for long enough, but literally surviving them, you know, is very, very important.
Well, let's get into this match. Let's have a look at the second game of our best of three. It is going to be on Forest of Niflhel. Let's take a look at the map.
Welcome to the Forest of Niflhel. In this conquest map, players will vie for control of 3 score-generating capture points. Additionally, on each side of the map, there are 2 bosses that grant 25 points and a bonus to all stats to the team that lands the killing strike. The first team to 500 points wins.
And here we are on the Forest of Niflhel. Car Crash up against Chaotic Contingency. Car Crash managing to take the 1-0 advantage to start this best of 3. And let's see if Chaotic Contingency are going to be able to pull themselves back. Let's take a look at any changes to the builds that might have come out here.
doing flashy camera angles and spins and whatnot as
Have you
well.
considered going into the film industry at all, Jebra?
I used to be. I used to be in that industry. I left it. All gone, but you know.
Did you do shot plans and storyboarding, perchance? Or did you do the actual camera work?
I did loads of different things.
Anyway, let's talk about the builds. Let's talk about the
builds
game because
haven't
it's
really changed that much. We'll have a look at the builds as we're going through the game. The Super's playing something very, very similar. Car Crash are confident in their builds at the moment. Sam's still playing. He's actually going with Nullfield here to counteract some of the conditions that are coming out from this team, as well as, you know, give himself some extra resistance there. So that's a good job, you know. Really, that Nullfield powered up completely for this team. We are going to see movement fully over towards this henge node as well for Car Crash, as we see two members over here versus Prototype and Tiki as well. And Canscout able to move over towards the midpoint now, able to fully sustain over on this map. Good job from the guys. Although Posey now in a bit of a position where he's going to go down, and we're going to see the res coming out from Sam. Could this cost potentially come out? It's not. It's not in the end.
Yeah,
Good
just
job.
managed to take him down in the end, and Super as well. Starting to feel a little bit weak, but he is just going to be topped up. As I say that, Illusion of Sam going to be the one on the keep, keeping that capped. But let's take a look over at the mine. It has been capped in favor of Car Crash, so they are slowly but surely picking up a points lead here, as they can just keep these other 2 points stalemated. But we do see a sort of 2v1 starting to occur over at the mine, because we see Angie was over there to try and contest it, but there is Canscout, Posey. I was going to say Jeb, but that is in fact one of the pets. It's your dog in real life, I believe. I'm not quite sure that's true.
Not yet. I've got a few,
I'm a compulsive liar.
Years left in me yet, mate. It's unfortunately, maybe, I don't know. It depends whether or not you're that way inclined in chat. But anyway, as we go over to this side of the map, these guys are able to sustain and hold over on the mine, of course. Tiki now moving over towards mid. We see the 2-cap coming out for Car Crash again, being very, very sustained on the map, holding these points and winning some of those little skirmishes on the sides, and just moving now, the blue team feels like into mid, where I'm not sure this is going to work out entirely, although Super could be a nice pickup kill here. It feels like it's sustaining well with Sam. I'm not sure if this is the best movement, or that's one of the only places they can move, because they don't want to move over towards this other side of the map. Posey is doing a good job at sustaining with the Druid here at the moment as well. He's really doing a good job at removing conditions, supporting him through his Celestial Avatar, where Posey can now re-engage onto these guys, and they're not able to get anything out of it. This is very interesting. Super, actually, very low over towards the midpoint. Elixir S-Proc. He does get stunned. I think he's going to be okay, though.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be just about all right on this one. It's going to be fighting out against Prototype on that midpoint. Just a 2v2 ongoing, as Super is finally going to get dropped down. The res might just come out here, and it looks like he will get back onto his feet. Illusion of Sam able to save his teammate there. That was, in fact, the real story, not just an illusion for you guys. It's going to be Faraz here, just trying to do what he can. He is starting to get a little bit lower. He's going to have to kite around a little bit, but will have that heal available in his other stance.
I mean, this is another game, another series where I'm not sure I was expecting Car Crash to win this. But they've already put a strong start, but Posey does go down, and now they need to make sure they either go for the kill on Super, or maybe even try and...
Posey's gone down.
No, they get him down in the end. That was also kind of surprising. Maybe Sam, again, not having those keeps, being pushed off point for a start, and by Angie Rev, so he's trying to survive those fights, and he is dropping quite low himself. They've got the 2-cap. Do they pick to survive, or do they stay, fight, and hold the point for as long as possible? They're going to do that. They're not disengaging, and this could be to their detriment.
It absolutely could. Illusion of Sam looking for the res, and he's not quite going to be able to get up. In fact,
Super.
The Condis are stacking, and it looks like he might go down. Super as well is dropped to the floor, and it looks like it is going to be 2 men going down for Car Crash. Chaotic Contingency now with the mana advantage. They need to get some caps and decaps across this map, and you can see them spreading out 2 to either side note. And in fact, everybody just abandoning the keep completely, using this mana advantage to the fullest potential they can.
It's an interesting... I was looking down on the map there because I was looking at the map movement, and that's the important part of that, to see where people were going to lie at the end of this rotation and the respawns, because Red Team are respawning over towards the mine. Now look...
Super's just going mid.
Yeah, Easy. I mean, they've pushed over to a point. They're going to get the kill on Counscout. That's great. They're really good updraft. They're going to get the res, though. And now look what's going on here. Illusionary Sam and Counscout on the same point. If Counscout can rotate well around and heal himself back up, he's going to get back towards Sam, and he's going to be absolutely fine. Red team have kept the side nodes. They've decapped mid. And blue team have just rotated quite, unfortunately, not well at all there.
I think just a bit of a, I'm not really sure, just a miscalculation there on what they could actually achieve. They weren't able to even get the decaps on the side nodes, and it just meant that they ended up losing the mid node. So, I mean, they win the fight, get a 2-man advantage, and then just kind of threw it away a little bit there. Posey and Counscout going to be going down, though. Counscout into downstate. Posey completely out of the game for a little bit. Blackjack as well actually knocked into downstate. And actually, maybe Chaotic Contingency can do something with it this time. Counscout is dead. Posey has finally respawned as Blackjack knocked into downstate once again and is going to be executed. And now they're going to look to decap. I mean, they have already decapped Henge. They're looking to try and get the decap on Mines as well, but it is going to be a 2 versus 2 as Super actually in a 2 versus 1 of his own. And he's looking to maybe just try and escape from this one because his Chaotic Contingency slowly but surely taking control of mid.
Look, Car Crash have kept that side point. They've still got it. With Sam and also with Counscout, in the end, they win it out. And this is what I'm talking about, you know. Blue team were able to come back into the map, but they've just, on respawn, they've just overpowered mine. And now they can go to mid and overpower that. And they can really hold a 1 cap and contest. As long as they keep a cap, they're going to win this game. At the moment, they're going to win the series. And now this is important. Look at Super. Super's a boss when it comes to kiting. He's very experienced on the engineer as well, and he's doing a good job. Look at that. He gets back onto the point, using that hammer to evade attacks and move back onto the node. And blue team did do well in the end at pushing the pressure onto mine, and getting the win and the kill over on Henge. But now they need to win this mid fight, because this is the almost could be their last potential chance to come back.
Yeah, absolutely could. 330 points in favor of Car Crash and just 80 on the board right now for Chaotic Contingency. Posey is going to be knocked down into that downstate. Look at the Condi stacking up. Looks like Posey will end up dropping here for... I mean, Posey seems to really be the #1 target, followed by Counscout. Super going to head over to the Henge, but not quite going to be able to get that cap. Sam is going to be taken down eventually. Blackjack looking for the res, but he's incredibly low himself and will just retreat.
Yeah, he just wants to try and heal up as soon as possible. Just go back into that safe position with Counscout where they can sustain together and they can wait for the respawns. Overpower. Oh! They've got to get down. Someone needs to get on node. Blackjack comes in. Is he going to updraft here? Is he going to be able to do it? I don't think he is. They're going to go for the res. They do take... Oh, my good lord. Angie.
Angie's incredibly low now as well. Angie might actually end up going down for the overextension.
They need to push everything on this now, I think, actually, as well. And they're going to push the Rev over towards that side of the map. Illusionary Sam could be one of these targets. But they're entering into a big team fight. But with Blackjack down, but Posey goes back up. The resing capability of Car Crash is so powerful, and now they start to look for the end and the finish to potentially the last game of this series. And look, Tiki low over on the Henge point, as well as Angie Rev over on this side of the map, and we're going to see Prototype completely annihilated on this side of the map. Feral starts to disengage to potentially think about holding the mid cap that they have, and they're all slow, chilled, crippled, moving away from the point. This doesn't feel like a positive thing for the blue team at all.
No, it really, really doesn't. Angie is going to be eating the dirt once again, ticking away slowly but surely. No one really able to pick him back up. Tiki in a 1v1 versus Super, and he's actually going to have some reinforcements arriving on the scene. Prototype here to chase Super away from the node, and this is slowly but surely going to start to get capped up. But Super, I mean, we saw this earlier, he's more than happy to stay in that 2 versus 1 and just kite around forever.
Oh, look at Blackjack, just lightning flashes, easy decap, and any kind of potential comeback is just destroyed instantly and very easily. They pulled off, pardon me, Karam off to the side, taking him into downstate, where Karam has to come and try and res Feroz. An easy decap, Blackjack, you know, lightning flash up, just stand there for a moment, get the decap, and that's it. You know, simple little plays like that where you're distracting off to the side, trying to get the guy, and he was thinking about it, you know, Karam was like to and fromming, should I go for the res? And unfortunately, you know, lost the cap in the end.
Yeah, so a huge point advantage in favor of Car Crashed right now. Chaotic Contingency, honestly, I feel like it's hard to say in the series because I don't really want to count the first game too much, but in this game specifically have just looked kind of a step behind Car Crash. Car Crash have just been so strong. They've been winning out pretty much every single fight, and I mean, they even lost a couple of fights, but Chaotic Contingency just weren't able to do anything off the back of the small victories that they were able to achieve.
I actually think Car Crash are kind of unpredictable at the moment. And actually, I think a lot of this tournament is unpredictable as of today. Like, most of the series we expected, like, if you can go off history, you wouldn't have expected a lot of these results, in all honesty. I mean, Car Crash, a lot of people didn't even expect them to qualify.
Yeah.
And now they have defeated Chaotic Contingency in this second week of the Pro League. I mean, I'm pretty confident that this is the case with 470 points at the moment. I don't want to say, I don't like to sound defeatist, but Tiki's downstated. That's over on this side of the map.
Count Scout is dead currently, but so is Tiki, and Feroz as well, going to be dropped into downstate. Don't know if anyone's going to be available to pick him up onto his feet again, but Illusion Assam tanking up a whole heap of damage, but should be able to just sustain back up through that one as Prototype is knocked into that downstate as well. He'll be swimming in the mud for a while as he goes down. And that is going to be 3 points away from victory. Car Crashed are going to be taking this series against Chaotic Contingency 2-0 in commanding fashion on that second map. Really well played by Car Crash. Commiserations to Chaotic Contingency. They're going to be joining Purple Noise in 7th position.
Wow. And Car Crash are going to be chuffed as about for that. It's going to be absolutely amazing to see what's going to come out from next week from these teams. But I think we can both say maybe we weren't expecting that result in that series, and also, you know, some of the results, like I was saying today as well. I mean, Car Crash have changed some things up. They've got different people. Maybe, you know, Sam is toing and fromming on Bunker Mesmer. You know, Super's solidly on Engineer now, it feels, and they're starting to change those roles. Today has been a different day where we have seen no Dragon Hunters. You know, Kranox has switched over to Condi Rev. Condi Rev is now a very strong extreme class in the meta. You know, it's solidified now for 2 weeks. Doesn't feel like that's going to change. We've got Berserker Revenants as well. You know, we've got so many different people playing different variations of builds. Druids, Rangers are playing a Druid trait line. That's a necessity. But they're mixing it up, you know, with Nature Magic. They're mixing it up with Marksman. They're mixing it up with Beast Mastery as well. There's different builds. There's different quirky stuff to some of these builds, which is really useful for the team composition that they are playing. Not necessarily meta for the entirety of what people should follow. It's very, you know, focused on the team composition and the people that play.
And that makes it so much more exciting to watch as well. The variety that we've been getting in between these games. I mean, it's exactly like you said earlier. We saw one Dragon Hunter today. In weeks gone by, we saw a Dragon Hunter on every single team. And like in the space of 2 weeks, the meta has shifted dramatically. And we've gone from sort of everyone going bursty classes to everyone going sustain damage and sustain in general. So, I mean, we'll see how the meta continues to shift throughout the rest of the season. But unfortunately, that was our final game of the day. We're going to take a look at the final standings for you guys and see where these guys are going to be placed. So 2-0s across the board aside from match 3. Our featured matchup was rank 55 Dragons up against the Civilized Gentlemen. And that was, I mean, a series to remember. Rank 55 Dragons did manage to take it in the end 2-1 over TCG. And let's take a look at our standings for this season in general. Obviously, we have now had 2 seasons. I believe we are going to have, it is orange logo and...
Orange logo and...
rank 55 in first position.
No, Vermilion, sorry. Well,
it was Vermilion.
Because we actually, because it was an unexpected series.
Yeah,
you know, it's like we've got, which is, you know, the interesting thing, you know, you say that because that's what we're expecting. We're talking today. It's like, that's what's going to happen. Pretty sure. And between 55 and between those teams today that we saw completely across the board, we're seeing a complete standings, which we're not maybe we're not sure how we got here today.
Yeah.
And how everything's been going. I know I'm kind of mixing my words now. It's been a long evening.
has
With some
been a long
interesting outcomes and some hype, which is just...
It has been insane.
Catapulted
Some of the
this class
games have been
completely.
so incredibly close. But if you've not had enough of Guild Wars action, the American stream will be going on at, I believe, 6 p.m. PST, if that's correct. Pacific
Could be, I
Standard
think it's
Time.
5 p.m. PT. Yes, it would.
Okay.
It would have been 6 p.m. PST
Oh, yeah.
if
no.
it was still PST.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So you're not technically wrong.
Time
It's
zones are
fine.
not my strong suit.
It's okay.
But later
I'll do
tonight,
the time
the
zones.
American stream will be on. But from me, from Jebro, and from the rest of the production crew, it is going to be the end of the European Pro League for this week. But make sure you join us next week at 5 p.m. GMT. We'll be back with more Guild Wars action, and we'll see you then.